injunction, they will carry on with incurring costs and then use the same argument in order to move forward. I mean, come on. When you think about, of course, cost is a factor in any decision, but think about the damage you're going to do. If there had been, just say I am not a police officer. There's never been a criminal judgment against anyone, so I cannot accuse. But the likelihood, if you think about the impact, if there had been a crime of allowing or granting this to the family, the irreparable thing of granting this is bizarre that anyone can look at this and even think there is no second judgment. There is no second judgment. There's never been a second judgment. It looks like it was all verbal. If you look at the irreparable damage of allowing this man to bury someone else's this year, who in their right mind will say the financial burden outweigh the other impact of moving ahead with the burial? I cannot. I mean, I can never understand that. But this is Ghana. Anything is possible.
And besides, how can you incur a cost about something that has not taken place as yet? How do you come up to determine it's going to cost such amount for the judge to come out and say, yeah, this is how much it's going to cost, and therefore come up with the amount, or
20 billion. Now, judge no pobenya sa 20 billion 2 hours.
20 billion of something that ain't started yet. 20 million of a year, and I said cost that we incur. How do you even come up with something like that?
Oh, it hasn't even quantified. It hasn't. There's no evidence. There's no receipt. There's no contract. There's nothing.
And then for the judge,
they haven't even submitted it before the judgment. Like nothing. They haven't broken it down. Nothing.
Do we even have a report? Do we even have a report from that judge?
Jumana, is that judgment out? Do we have that judgment?
I have never seen. It was all verbal. I have never seen a paper. Like never. The first one is out. You can get it in the system, but you can never get the second one.
Only
the second one
Ghana,
is not out.
This kind of bull crap can happen. Only in Ghana. Only in Ghana, because in every court proceeding, there's always.
Oh, my ASA.
A network.
Gifty.
With that question. Then, if it is so, then can find it there no more, because for this time, the way I'm explaining matters now, I'm a argument.
Anti-gifty. Anti-gifty.
Ghanaians have accepted, say, that is how I mean,
I don't think Ghanaians have it. I think, no, what I'll say to you, Anti-Gifty, is that those people have bought mainstream media. They have bought a lot of our Asante chiefs. They have bought some key politicians. Because I cannot understand. Yeah, because to me, it makes no sense that anyone with reasonable ability to reasonably critically analyze facts can support this. That is my personal view on it. If you have the ability to analyze information, can you say that what transpired is okay?
It's not okay. And that is why we're still talking about it. Almost a year out, we're still talking about it, because it's a lot of gap. There's a lot of gaps. There are a lot of unanswered questions. There's a lot of multiple, stories that is not concluded. Like, I mean, we don't have any definitive at this point. Can somebody tell me exactly what killed this Daddy LUMBA? Can somebody tell me exactly and say that this is the diagnosis, or this was what? We don't know. We don't know. We don't know what killed him. We don't know where he's buried. We don't know where the body is. Right now, for all we know, he's kidnapped somewhere in the corner somewhere. We don't know. Nobody knows. And how can one just accept what it is and say, oh, this is it, what we're so let's move on and do whatever, whatever she needs to get and move on. And that's it. No history. No, I mean, all the dignitaries, we talked about them very shortly because of Daddy Lumba, you know, because we don't have answers in it, so we can't. It's unrest, a lot of unrest. Obviously, me Daddy Katie, obviously, the flowers, Aqua graves. Can we say the same thing for Daddy Lumba? Can we say so we know where he was buried? How is that okay? It's not okay. Until that is concluded, we're never gonna get to that. You know, it's never gonna. This is gonna be ongoing until some kind of facts or some kind of truth is revealed, and there's some kind of closure, because there's no closure here, and that's what we need to understand.
Empress, my question is, Jumana, Joe, for you being a lawyer, is it possible for you to go for the judgment?
I know that I have had some people who've asked for the judgment. They were able to pull the first part of the judgment. They've never been able to pull the second part. So we have tried within us to pull the judgment. So I don't know whether the second part exists.
So, Jumana, you being a lawyer, like Noki was saying, can't we question the judge for the second judgment?
It's not my case. It's not my case.
I know
do you see what I'm saying? It's different if it's like...
If I say we, I mean the family, that because we are for the family. So can't the family go for that second judgment? Because they need to have it.
What for now, we all need to accept it and move on and just pray for Mama Akusia. Because today I understand a lot of stuff about the issues. So I think the only thing we need to do is just pray for Mama Akusia. That's all. Because the only chain with it, I don't know.
No, my gifted, and this was the reason why I actually me requested back from, because man or damn now can be say Crawford Nikuta Ghana. It's about time say you be fight this microphone. We can't let them fool us around like that. We can't. So for how long will this continue? Brother, meeting Okasapa. Honestly, I'm was telling you that Okasa. Maybe my make us say no Ghana no. I didn't know human beings. I didn't know human beings like that. They also started from somewhere. They did not get to that cartel, whatever that we think they are, that we can fight them. It's about time. Yes, I be Joe Mama don't pay we have to fight these people.
Sister Meka say me.
Hey.
Na masema Meka here they say you show.
Mr. Question, yen try no class so say ene yen nyina ya che adwen. Ana say lawyer wa ha please wa obi abeche mu nti omo me no say ebusa omo question. See any question bi mu there yemusa ye man no na yemusa check out there because and then the omo explaining matters ma because na me hu say mama brempo ma akoye case by case was say or dey kwakoye autopsy ne case for so open the obeche no. Enti because this you know na adjubicate tabe kana menti ase enti and then omo be che mo me hu say the omo kan nyina ye the adjubicana is true enti say your question be betimi abisa by any question be ade a e be busa second question for check out.
Let me explain something. Well, Mama Primpoma wanted an investigation. Okay, she wanted a full investigation. Obviously, Mama Primpoma was very professional. You can have your suspicion as to what happened to your brother. But you cannot go and say, it's not the right way as an individual to go and say, we're in a kuminya, because it hasn't been investigated. Mabrin Pama was also guided by lawyers. So she didn't go and make those cases alone. She went with lawyers. And what they did is they write a whole petition. This is how you do it. You write a whole petition with your concerns. And if you remember the first, like there's different petitions, but if you look at the October one and the November one, in October, they were not able to put down the person who gave them the information about going to their house and knocking. But in November, they had more information when they went to the NIB, and they were able to say this person was the one who was called. And so you can see them, doing their own investigation, then providing more information of what they want the police to do over time. So I want to be very clear that they did exactly what they're supposed to do, which is to go to the police and say, this is our suspicion. This is the reason for the suspicion. This is why we think you need to investigate. And these are the people you need to speak to. So all of those things they did correctly. And they worked with lawyers and they went to the police and they asked for help. I just want to clarify that.
Thank you so much.
Auntie Gifty. Before I maybe join you wrong, Na a friend say, Mpacha, what they say, offer MDK number on. Oh, offer MDK number or back and be in you, who bruta. Na mempese me escalate things wa ha. Freno. And somehow back at on and near may happen on. It taken you maybe for granted. Honestly. Share and kofu we on. From A to Z, the near bra me ba affairs and as me bo fu bi nase for no. Say a near go wrong. Yeah, up to 9 things are still going wrong. E japade nyina no. Say o my just say so much o. Yeah, o makoye odu nase for. MDK kuta sa information nyina. O era just say ne bufu obobo. Ama obi odu ni nyina obobo. Wa be kan sama nwumre sesi nyansam ketewa. Ensema ekoso no. Yeah, o my no class o mo pese. Lumba body omo say ko 1 year ni de tibi omo bekere ba ekosie no enti omo mane ma no abaye omo adwene say omo premier ntu omo papa funu
father
yes enti omo ne abusianfo no yere e betwe enti omo use saa abaya na okoje award no e na omo friends ay panyine no Kevin so abeka ho e na omo prane na say omo di sika na yere e dada omo wo Ghana ho say and omo papa wi a on no di ade aka mamu wo papa wi a wo na wo bedi ade and omodi that we see MDK wo de frɛ me pese me meka na ba ze me ma bekeka ensem bi anim wo de frɛ no beka kyerɛ ensem a aka no ya na ketwa so ho ti eniema ekɔ ayi bi a nye sa na epa no pet the way ni me se kɔ na ma Ghana je wo turu nkura wo ntia se why
enkura no ntimi nka so mo oji funu na boss me joje asɛm no ebisi ho ma abusuafo na ekɔ court e ma omo de funu na ma ya omo akotu funu no omuma police for mo de court no ebra police for no mkotu funu no eti enya possible say nkra no funu no ebe ye nkra de abra Ghana efunu ya busua de
on say we kan nyina no ye interest ni e friend confidence ye wo judicial no
okay
and ebe ma ye hunu say yet enkofu we no what they can do to bribe ya omba accept at any case no in different way we assemble ko a asem we a me fan say ma me ayi kura say ayi okoi say api kura no ebesi ne up to now omuntimi ma date sort as here enti omba your back and front back
kwaso bet lawyer kusi na nim date kwaso wan say enye se na enye nema bia na ompese omo de beto abonten
be fine 1 year senko omunim say ade no 1 year no kwa no ye be charge apade e be bia de so ma akuranfo o ma ya
me pastor anye say ma menka be bin che Ghana for let me say something. The way they are talking, because I know Frida Free, maybe she hasn't taken something. I don't know what's going on, but she's been online all day, going barking. And I want to be very clear to you, okay? When it comes to distribution of assets, estate, okay, Busia Penny does not have the power to touch the deceased estate. J.J. Rowland's law is very clear. Okay, it's the person who has been granted letters of administration that has the power. So I know that these people think, say, they don't care. They're going to break all the rules and all the laws, and then we'll have to fight them in court because they have big hands. So I want to make it clear to you about the traditional stuff does not come in because we now have VNC law, that stuff is now in place, and it's called intermeddling. You know, intermeddling. And so I want to be very, very careful. And it's a criminal offense to intermeddle. It's a criminal offense. But the thing is, they think, Ghana for no, you're weak. We will just let them get away. They're going to do what they want to do. They're now talking about something about some old lawyer that has the will, and there's going to be a will, and a way dia, even though the law is very clear. You know, the lawyer now did one for will, baby, you know, that person will be going to prison. And I don't think any lawyer will be. So let's just wait for all of this to happen. But you are right. But we have to understand, they're not working by the law. Nobody in Ghana is listening. I've been saying this from the beginning. And as time is going by, you know, with the new lawyers, you know, everybody's starting to realize I wasn't crazy. Because I remember people used to say, to me lawyer. And I was saying to you, everybody said, that Baba Jama and Co, all the letters is not legally sound. The way they write, the way they argue the law is not in accordance with the law. And 90-something% of the law now what Ghana know is the same law in the UK. And I qualified in 2004. I know you all think I'm young, but I'm not young. I'm very old. So the law now, or more you know, it's the same law that I have been taught and I've been working in for how many years? Nearly 20 years. No, 21 years now. Okay. So to me, you know, when I'm looking at something, I'm like, what is going on? This is not law. This is not rules. This is not right. Ghana for no, every time, no, we are allowing, every time I was talking about, oh, we should fight these people who've influenced. But it's not been just the influential people. It is the people who have low-minded brain cells that think this is okay. Now, how can one woman be international wife? Okay. Lawfully the only wife all over the world. And another person, Ghana wants to recognize her as a wife in Ghana. In addition to that woman, there's a wife. Now, it doesn't make sense. All of you should say, this doesn't make no sense.
Jumana, my member, even letter
That
now,
is a basic thing.
Letter now, mo de koma ma say, when I went see Papa na Japade so no, and your judge be an catcher and court. It's even post a letter and
They're not allowed.
Yes,
they should,
not allowed.
It's not allowed. They should literally, she should say, what, you know, listen, you cannot be a lawyer for a dead person. I'm telling you now, if you are not allowed, you are not a lawyer for a deceased man. So, listen, I can only put my head down and say, hey, mina kayeme mamia, kamidomako sisi court long time, kamidomako a legal counsel long time. I chinchim or more license. Because who the hell who are you? Because the people that they were acting for was Priscilla and her kids, not the family and not that the LUMBA. Let's be very clear. Okay, let's be very open and frank. I'm telling you this for my professional views, from what I'm reading and how I'm seeing it. From my professional views, I think they were acting for Priscilla and Priscilla's children, because you cannot be a lawyer for a deceased man. The deceased man cannot instruct you. It's a person who controls the deceased man's estate that instructs a lawyer to cover his estate. And the only person who can be in control of a deceased man's estate is a person that's granted probate from the High Court, or is granted, if there's no will, is granted letter of administration from the High Court. Ghana has an additional rule. You have to be granted. UK, you don't have to be, if there's a will, you don't have to be granted anything by the High Court. You can just act. But Ghana has additional protection where you have to be granted by the High Court judge, because they know the kind of issue that could happen before you can be managed someone's estate. So with that in mind, you know, how can that person claim without no High Court judgment, claim to be the person in charge of the estate and to tell the wife that you cannot go there? It doesn't make sense to me. It has never made sense to me from the beginning. And everybody thought I was mad, I was losing my brain, but I wasn't. I was just asking professional questions because it never made sense. And it still doesn't make sense. I've actually spoken to 10 Ghana lawyers, and I've asked them, and they said, you are 100% right. We even laugh about this in our chambers. We read the letter and we laugh. So let me make something clear. A lot of the lawyers have read the letters and they laugh about it because they cannot believe that the family jumped on it and took this action when there was no legal basis. Sorry, let people ask questions. I'll let you guys ask questions.
Oh, ASEM. Thank you, Pad. Where the edisuade ama yenyina nya da de LUMBA nkwane na busia nti yenyina yensuade mfrim na ne de atensem ti me pa shawa any question bia betimi ebisa wa madam Roma.
Jumana, me pacho, based on what we are discussing, say and Crofona take initiative, be say 1 year they're gonna go ahead and do what they have planned. What can Marcus Sasawa do?
Listen, what I will say to you, Nisse, Team Legal Wives, I'll tell you this over and over again. We need to get our legal funds up. That's all I'll say, because my advice is to lawyer up, not one or two, lawyer up big time. We're going to have to lawyer up big time to support that woman. financially, because the way they want to do it is, they said, this is what I think is happening. They're going to share it and make her fight for it through the legal channel to get them their stuff back. This is what my heart suggests they want to do. The way Frida Free has come and she's boldly saying, say, or that. No, that woman thinks, say, yeah, Jimmy na yanko, yanko, share paperwork, and Jimmy na kasa. It's bizarre that she would think that I'm stupid girl, that we haven't done our paperwork, we haven't looked at things. We've done all of that. But because you no longer can trust Ghana, no, you expect them to be like, do something extremely dodgy. So the reality, some people keep saying, I'm internationally, I'm qualified legally abroad. So it's not about, it's nothing to do with the fact is, you go to a court and the judge will say something else. So what I'm saying to you is that we have to be prepared. The battle will be between June to July, August. There will be a big battle. Let me make something clear. People are desperate. They are not going to wait